Hi, my name is Nina Clapperton and this is my service dog, Theo. I wanted to start this channel because he is a special bug and I love him the most, but it was really hard navigating everything getting him. I mean, service dogs in Canada especially, not that well documented, not that much information, and traveling with a service dog is incredibly hard. Now, Theo and I have been to 3 countries in the last 2 years. I think you've been on over like 30 flights now, Bug, huh? Yeah. He's been on a lot of flights with me because I travel full time for work, and then I had to travel a lot this year for medical appointments as well. Theo is the best little boy the world could ever ask for, and I hope we can share all of his amazingness with you, answer any service dog questions you might have, talk about accessible travel, and yeah, just make life feel a little bit less hard because I think it is nearly impossible to be a person lately, and service dogs help a lot with that. So I want to talk a bit about what Theo does, how I got him, that sort of information. Theo is a psychiatric and mobility service dog, which means that he does both things for my mental health and my physical health. I first got Theo, and I'll be 100% honest with this, I thought I was scamming the system a little bit. I was like, oh, I've got anxiety. I can get a service dog, and then it'll make travel so easy. That's not true. That is so blatantly incorrect. It is much easier to travel with a pet dog than to travel with a service dog, honestly, because there's so many more hoops that we have to jump through. Theo got certified with a trainer because I am incapable of training him. He is my very first dog on my own. We had dogs growing up, but I don't know, I thought I would be this amazing dog trainer, and I was like the dog whisperer. I got him and I spent at least 6 months crying every single night because he was ruining my life, which is the hard thing about getting a service dog when you are disabled, because you're already at your lowest, and then you bring in this little heathen who wants to destroy your soul and happiness. Eventually they rebuild it, but you tear it down first, right, Bug? And that's one of the reasons why I call him Bug, is because he bugged the ever-loving shit out of me. But ultimately, they will be your best friend. I mean, this is how we usually sit. We cuddle, we take naps face to face. He's the best. But I did get him thinking that it'd be a lot easier than it was. So during the pandemic, I moved from Toronto to Ottawa. I'd been living in my sister's basement, so I needed to be on my own. And while I was there, I'd always wanted to get a service dog. That's something that first of all, I just wanted a dog. I'm very much a dog person. But my therapist as well was like, you should get a service dog. You need some help, woman. And I knew I wanted to travel. And I typically traveled to a new country every few months. And that's not conducive to having and training a service dog, especially at the beginning. They need some stability for potty breaks, for everything. When you're working with a trainer, trainers typically don't travel with you, so you need to be somewhere to do the training. And getting him used to grocery stores and things is easiest when you're in one spot. So I was in Ottawa. I knew I was kind of stuck there in 2021. Figured, let's do it. And it kind of started as a joke, honestly, as well. I would send black lab photos off Kijiji to my old friend. We're still friend, but I was gonna say old roommate, so I corrected myself. Sorry, he's still my friend. And then I came across this little dude. He was in an Amazon box. It was by a registered breeder. It's just now apparently breeders actually market on Kijiji, which is very interesting to me. If you're not Canadian, Kijiji is the Canadian equivalent of Craigslist. We have Craigslist here, but it's super sketchy, so we don't use it. We use Kijiji. And that's where I found his picture. And I fell in love with him immediately. I wrote them and was like, oh no, I'm definitely not doing this. And then a month later, somebody came home with me and ruined my life for so many months. I also thought that training him would be pretty simple because I had studied training material for fun, because I'm a fun person, I guess, for years. And I was like, that's definitely going to mean that this is super easy to have this service dog, train him, and he's going to be dream team in no time. And also because, again, I thought I was kind of gaming the system a little bit, which I definitely needed a service dog to some extent. But I kind of thought I was just making travel with a dog easier. One of the ways that this little idiot ruined my life is that I've been diagnosed with a bunch of new issues since getting him. So Theo taught himself at quite a young age to open doors. He was 3 months old. Then he also taught me that I have migraines and he can alert to that. He taught me that I have blood pressure issues, which I thought were blood sugar. I still have some sugar issues, but I learned that a lot of them are actually blood pressure. I started getting diagnoses based on things that he was alerting to that I would tell my trainer about. We would sit, talk. I'm currently, even now, undergoing more testing for different things. So we think I might have Ehlers-Danlos and POTS and PCOS, all things he was telling me, which is so cool and so interesting. It has ruined my bank account and my scheduling because I'm always at the doctor's now, but I wouldn't have figured that out on my own. So Theo helped me a lot in that ways. He also helped me realize that like my anxiety is a lot worse than I thought it was. So I was masking so much of it and hiding so much of it that I got used to being in a permanent level of panic, and he helped bring me out of it. So many of Theo's tasks started as anxiety tasks based around like deep pressure therapy, where he will lie on me. We couldn't do too much lying on because I am quite sensitive and like fragile, I guess, with like what could be Ehlers-Danlos. I was going to use the acronym, but I couldn't remember it. It could be Ehlers-Danlos, but it could also be something else, testing for MS and lupus and things. But it means that it's hard for me to have the pressure. So he can only put his head on me. Having like his entire body like draped on my chest is too much for me. Even now he has his paw on my lap because I probably am getting a bit excited, which means my heart rate's going up. And that's one of the ways that he does like kind of softer DPT, because he wants to help me, but he doesn't want to hurt me. And we learned pretty quickly that that could hurt me. Now, other things that he does are barking to help with my dysregulation, to get my attention, because I often don't notice, like I don't have a lot of sensation in my leg. So if he nose boops me, which a lot of dogs do, I don't notice it. Like I just won't feel it, or I'll think he did it by accident. Even if I've trained it. I know it sounds dumb, but it's true. Now he'll also jump to alert. We're really careful with that one because, again, fragile. So having a 75-pound golden retriever throw his body weight at you is a lot. But sometimes I do actually need to lie down. And so one of the things is he'll jump, either like kind of like slowly climb me. In my computer, he'll jump into my lap and push my chair away from the computer when my migraines start. And he will also, hey Papa, sometimes he'll jump to get me to lie down. He's like, we need to be on the ground right now. You are going to pass out. Get down. And I have not fainted since I had him. So he's doing a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it. So those are all the things that we kind of started working on with him. And then he figured out some other stuff on his own. Like he figured out that when my sugar is low, if he goes to the kitchen and barks, I will go to the kitchen. And he assumes when mom's in the kitchen, she eats. So if I can get her here, she'll eat. And if I would leave the kitchen, he would start barking again. But if I stayed in the kitchen and ate something, he would stop. And my therapist actually figured out that that's what he was doing. I thought he was just being a dick. So it's a lot of interesting things about we have to work together so intensely, a notebook. We really have to understand each other, and I have to like listen for different intonations of his barks and things like that. But it has changed my life. Having this dog, having this service dog has completely changed my life. In many ways, made it worse for the first year, 100%. I'm not going to lie about that. I think owner training would be even worse and even harder. And for someone like me who doesn't have a good temperament for it, that would be really challenging. Many people, I think, are amazing at it. I think owner training is so valid. I just could not do it. But I imagine it'd be even more frustrating some days because it's all on you. Now, with him, he has made my life infinitely better after that. Now, like I can go to stores and I'm not like constantly afraid to be outside. He gets me outside in the days because he is a golden retriever. He's allergic to absolutely everything. He has to take allergy medication. And so where I put it for him, I also put my medication. So it helps me remember to take my meds. He helps remind me to eat. He makes sure that I don't forget or that I don't put it off. He makes sure that, I'm not having panic attacks constantly, or that when I'm about to, he gets me somewhere where I can do that safely. He will also help with blood pressure when like my blood pressure is rising or lowering. Lowering is a big thing for me. He will make sure that I get somewhere and I can sit down and make sure that I'm okay. And a lot of the things he does for that are called active disobedience, where he is being willfully disobedient to me, but because he knows it's going to help me. So like not listening to me when I tell him to sit, because he's like, no, I'm going to jump on you because you need help, woman. You need to get fixed. Theo is like the light of my life, and I absolutely love him. It was a lot of hard work, and I now see, having traveled with him a lot, that it is so hard to travel with a service dog. There's so much more paperwork you have to do. It is infinitely more complicated, but I wouldn't change anything. He is my baby boy, and the best thing about my days, it gets me through most of my days and allows me to like live as a person in a way that I was really struggling to before I got him. I would honestly, I thrived during the pandemic because I could just stay inside and not speak to anybody and just feel like crap. But it was okay because everyone was feeling like crap. And once the pandemic kind of ended and people were better, I wasn't better. And I didn't necessarily understand why until I realized some of the things that he was helping me with that I needed to work on a bit more, until I took some better care of myself. And he's a big part of that. He is the best dog ever. And I think everyone should be able to get a service dog. I wish they were more accessible. I know that they are incredibly expensive. He was incredibly expensive. And I am faced with that again, year after year. He's almost 3 now. Anytime I have to do my taxes and fill out the service dog amounts that I spent in the last year, and it hurts my heart. But I really do wish that they were more available to everyone. Equally, I also wish that there was a more supportive community, I guess. I think a lot of times service dog owners feel very on their own. And because of that, they can be quite reactionary towards other service dog owners online, especially. I am all about peace and love in the community. And like, we all do our best with our dogs, and we're just trying to like get through the day. And unfortunately, we get enough hate from like people who don't have service dogs that to also get it from people who do is really challenging. And I'm not saying everybody, but there's always like a bad egg or two, unfortunately, and they tend to be quite loud. I am all for, if your dog is not hurting anybody, that's all that matters to me. If it barks a bit too much in a store, maybe it's new, maybe that is its alert. Theo has barked in stores and restaurants before because it's his alert. If your dog jumps on you, if they get a bit excited, if they have a piddle because they're a puppy and they're in their first outing, like that happens. Sometimes even like in airports when the service dog relief center is like a million miles away from anything else, which is the bane of my existence. Like these things happen. And I'm here to say this is a supportive place for service dog owners, as long as you are doing your best and you're taking care of your dog properly, and no dogs, no humans are getting hurt. It's okay if things aren't perfect. Like nothing is. They are dogs. They're still going to do their thing. And it's okay if this is harder than you thought, because it was a lot harder for me than I ever thought it would be. And I was sure I went into this with like all the information. I'd done years of research. Yes, I got him like within a month, but I am the kind of person where like I'd kind of been planning this since I was 16. So I'd had like 10 years to get this ready. I already like knew his vets. I knew all that stuff. It just was a little bit faster than I expected to actually bring him home. And even with that, things went wrong, things went right. I'm happy to talk about all of those. I'll do another video on how training went, because we had some severe ups and downs with training, and some more on travel, because traveling with a service dog is very hard, and I wish it was more accessible to everybody, because everyone deserves to travel. Travel is the coolest. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Theo and his adventures, if you want to watch some videos of him swimming, or when I rented a private pool for him to go swimming in, if you want to learn about traveling with a service dog or getting a service dog in Canada, or any questions you might have for us, feel free to follow and subscribe, like this, with all the things that you're supposed to do. And we will be posting more videos soon. Bye.